Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Tom Barfield Show. We are so pleased you have elected to join us today, either live or maybe you're going to watch us later on. I don't know, but we certainly do appreciate you being with us. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can catch us later on wherever you get your favorite podcast. But we welcome you into the program. We are presented by Toking, where they have 24-hour emergency roadside assistance. Thanks to Gary Hoffman, his team, his family, and everybody at Toking, everybody associated with Toking for sponsoring the program. Here's the phone number for Toking. It's 254-666-5484. I suggest you put that in your phone. Keep it. You hope you never use it, honestly, but it'd be nice to have it if you need it. 254-666 5484. That's the number for Toking. Again, we're glad you're with us. We're in the studios. Every day it gets a little better, gets a little different. We're tweaking and we're doing this and we're doing that to the studio. We're excited with what we got going on. I'm Tom Barfield. He's Lark Smith, and we're glad you're alongside for the hour as we talk sports. Today on the program, Bryce Cherry, the Waco Tribune Herald, is going to join us, and also Greg Tepper from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We'll talk some Texas high school football. I want to start off the program by sending our thoughts and our wishes and our well wishes and our prayers to our friends over in Coryell County in Gatesville. Did you see the news report, Lark? The fire last night?
Yeah, big fire right across the street from the courthouse there in the square in Gatesville.
I think it's just west of the courthouse.
Yeah. What used to be the Laird's Furniture Building. And
still is.
Yeah, and there was also, I think, a Bell's Bonds there or something. But anyway.
And the Gatesville Messenger, the newspaper.
Yeah, pretty much the entire block there just went up in smoke and flames last night.
Yep. I worked in Gatesville. In Coryell County at the radio station there for several years. Well, not several, 2 or 3 years. When I was first kind of getting going, several years ago. But
yeah, you talked me over there for about 3 months.
Yeah, you came and hung out with us for a while. But you got to know those folks, and you got to know the families of the community. You got to know everybody over there, and boy, you ache for those folks because the department store was such an integral part of the community, and so was the newspaper, the Gatesville Messenger. So, you just think the one blessing I think right now is I think there's been like one firefighter who's had to be treated for smoke. But other than that, I think they've come out of it without any major injuries, and that's the good news. But it's gonna redefine that community. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And we're with them. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the folks in Gatesville. On to sports today. Did you see the WBC last night, the World Baseball Classic, the other semifinal game, Venezuela and Italy?
Yes, I did, and I think the best team won. I think it's going to be interesting to see the U.S. and Venezuela. At least the United States is not having to play Italy again. And
I wanted to play Italy.
I know.
I wanted that rematch.
See that. Yeah, I wanted to see the rematch too. But I think Venezuela played a lot better game. It was the 7th inning. They got 3 runs.
Well, yeah, because it looked a lot like the night before. It was a 2-1 ball game in the late innings.
Yeah.
But then Venezuela got things going offensively, scored 3 in the bottom of the 7th, and then hung on, pitched and played defense the rest of the way, and come away with a 4-2 win. And what I've liked about this tournament and what I've liked about this classic is particularly once we kind of got into it, you really saw some quality baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were some clunkers early, but for the most part, there was some really, really good baseball in the quarterfinals and semifinals, and and away we go. And let's hope tonight. Let's hope that the spotlight is on the World Baseball Classic tonight. Let's hope that it's a terrific game between the U.S. and Venezuela. What do you think? I don't know what to think about this one, honestly. Do you?
No, I really don't. I don't know who the starting pitcher is going to be for the U.S. I'm pretty sure Scooble's already used up. I'm not sure who they'll come back with, but like you say, it's been very good baseball. I compare it to an all-star game like an all-star game used to be back in the 60s and the 70s when you had Pete Rose running over catchers, and it meant something. and you can tell by the way that these players react to the winning, winning the game, that it means something to them. And it's going to be very exciting tonight. I'm going to be interested to see the TV numbers, because you got that game going up against the opening round of the NCAA tournament. The couple of play-in games tonight, Texas being one of those games. But I'm going to be interested to see just how much numbers this baseball thing pulls. And I think everybody is surprised that Japan is not in this championship game. How early Japan got knocked out.
Well, and again, there's great baseball played all over the world, and you don't stop and think about that. You just don't. But you think about the U.S., and then of course you think about the Caribbean countries and in places like that. But man, there's great baseball played all over the world. You just mentioned Japan. Terrific baseball played in Japan, but we just don't seem to pay that much attention to it because we have the major leagues here in the States. But I'm just kind of curious, as this thing continues to grow, continues to develop, where it kind of stacks up when it comes to like World Cup soccer, when it comes to the Ryder Cup in golf. Where is it at? Where's it at on the pecking order as far as people's interest is concerned? Yeah,
and I think that is the focus of Major League Baseball, trying to compare itself to the soccer event, the World Cup soccer, things of that nature, trying to, I think even the NBA is trying to create something like that, but I don't think it's getting any traction. But just that's probably just my opinion. But I think this, because you no longer have baseball as an Olympic event. It was an Olympic event for what, maybe two
or three, yeah, not long.
Yeah, I always thought that was one reason for college seniors to stay an extra year instead of going pro if they wanted to, just so they could represent their country, like Will Clark and some of those guys did back then. I just felt that was a great incentive to keep them in school for one more year so they could play for Team USA in the Olympics. Then they opened it up to the pros, so it really didn't matter one way or the other on that. But now that you've got the pros playing there, it's interesting to see, guys that play for the Miami Marlins and the Seattle or Toronto playing for different countries, playing against other major leaguers. Like I say, it makes it look like an all-star game to me.
Well, it does. And I mean, you look, and then you look in the dugouts, like the Mexican team.
Yeah.
It was managed by Benji Gill, the former shortstop of the Texas Rangers. I mean, you have all of those MLB connections, even though it's a worldwide event. You had, Albert Pujols is managing, and, he was beloved. Beloved slugger in the big league. So, yeah, to your point, there's guys that have big league experience and long, meaningful big league careers that are representing other countries, from their homeland. So I like it. I just think it's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no question. And I hope the thing continues to grow, and I hope it continues. You know what? Well, early on, U.S. players didn't really give a hoot about this event. They didn't. And now they do. Now I think there's some pride going into it. And you're getting your work done. I mean, it's going on during the spring training, Cactus League, Grapefruit League. But these guys are getting their work in, and the managers and the coaches on these teams, they're handling the pitching staffs correctly. They're not overusing these guys. They know that they're bringing these guys along and following some protocols that keep these guys from hurting their arms while they're on the team for the couple of weeks. So I there's not a great time to play it, but I think this is probably the best time to play it. So tonight's a championship. It's Venezuela and the U.S. All right, one other quick thought before we dive into our guest and get going here today. McLennan basketball. I'm sorry for Kevin Gill.
Yeah, I am too.
29-2, but they took the early exit in the regional tournament, and that clearly cost them. I mean, it cost them. They did not get selected as an at-large team in the junior college national championship tournament, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and you look at Region 5, and no other team from Region 5 North got into the tournament as an at-large bid. Howard won the Region 5 tournament, so they got the automatic bid. But you also get from the Western Conference, you get Midland, South Plains, and New Mexico.
Wow.
All get at-large bids. And looking at the National Junior College ratings, which is a vote of a grand total of 10 people, Howard is number 4, Midland's number 9, South Plains is 14, New Mexico 15, McLennan's 18.
Gotcha.
But then you look at the Massey ratings, and the Massey ratings is also used by the BCS in a lot of its decisions as to who goes into the BCS tournament. Howard is number 2, Midland's number 5, South Plains is 14, New Mexico's 10, McLennan's number 8 in the Massey ratings. So, whose ratings are you going to take into consideration? I'm sure since it's the NCAA and JCAA tournament, they're going to go by their ratings.
Well, the fact is, there's only 8 spots available.
Yes,
nationwide.
Right.
So it's tough. You got to go win that postseason tournament. Quite frankly,
you lost one regular season game by 3 points. You lost a postseason tournament game by 1 point.
Yep,
4 points separates you from not making the national tournament.
All right, we're going to get a break right here. When we come back, we're going to talk with Bryce Cherry, the sports editor of the Waco Tribune-Herald. We're going to get his thoughts on that. We'll get his thoughts on a lot of things. We'll do that next when we continue here on this Tuesday morning. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit Tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
All right, we're back on this Tuesday morning, and we are brought to you in part by J.K. Roofing. I want to welcome J.K. Roofing to the family. Nice to have those guys with us and being a sponsor of the program. J.K. Roofing, with with all this unpredictable weather, let's talk about our friends over at J.K. Roofing Solutions. They specialize in residential roofing, no matter whether it's a conventional shingle or a metal roof. And you know what? If you're like, I don't know if I need a roof or not, well, give them a call and let them come out and check it out. And they'll tell you, yeah, you got another year left in this roof, or maybe 18 months, or no, you probably need to go ahead and get it done now. So reach out to them. It's jkroofs.com. That's jkroofs.com, or give them a call, 254-744-2211. All right, let's welcome into the program Bryce Cherry, sports editor of the Waco Tribune-Herald. Brycey, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Terrific, buddy. Let's begin with McLennan. We were just talking about that. We're 29-2. That's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it?
No doubt. I wrote a column recently where I talked about the downside of March, the sting of March, and it's for those teams that have strong resumes that still get left out of the field. And of course, I referenced Miami of Ohio. This was before Selection Sunday. They were getting talked about that they might get left out. Fortunately for the Red Hawks, they got in, and I thought they should have after going 31-0 in the regular season. They lose one game in the conference tournament to UMass, but they got in. Of course, the NCAA tournament, as we know, has 68 total spots. And, in junior college basketball, you've got 24. And as you mentioned, 8 of those are at-large bids. So there weren't that many spots up for grabs from an at-large perspective, but 29-2 and your 2 losses come by a grand total of 4 points. I mean, that's tough to swallow, as you said. Now, I referenced MCC in the column as well, and I did say, look, you can look at sort of both sides of the coin on this thing. Could Miami of Ohio done more, like won the conference tournament? Well, sure. Could MCC have done more? Yeah, absolutely. You win the regional tournament, and then this thing is a moot point. But losses happen, and MCC only had 2 of them all season. I think there's 2 things now after MCC gets left out of the national tournament 2 years in a row when they thought they had, pretty good cases to make it. I think Kevin Gill's got to figure out a way, and he's talked about how a lot of these teams just don't want to play us. Well, you got to figure out how to get past that, because they've got to strengthen their non-conference schedule so that, as Lark mentioned earlier, they are higher in those NJCAA rankings. Because then, if you have a few sort of signature wins under your belt, well, that helps your case. And then the other thing is, man, when you get to that regional tournament and you face those West Texas teams, you got to beat them. That's part of it too. Like, would one more win at the regional tournament, like the MCC lost in its first game there, would one win have gotten them in? I don't know, but you certainly, every win helps. So there's that part of it, but it absolutely, it stinks for the Highlanders, who had a great season.
Yeah, no question. You're right. You got to go win in the postseason tournament. You got to go beat those guys that perceptionally, whether it's reality or perception, that conference is considered to be a superior conference. So you got to go win there. And the other loss was in November, by the way, on the road. So
by 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of a tough pill to swallow, but you move on, and hopefully they'll do what you're talking about and find a way to go strengthen that non-con schedule. As far as the Baylor women, fair, unfair, the number 6 seed, and they're going to open in Durham?
I think it's fair, especially, I thought some of the projections had them as a 7 seed, and then sort of the later projections had them as a 6, and I thought that was more fair with sort of the season that they had. I still think the Big 12 is not maybe getting quite enough respect, but you also have to prove these things in March, like we just talked about. And so if the Big 12 goes out and fares well in the tournament, then, that'll help as they go into future events and get seeded and those kind of things. It's a very interesting situation with Baylor going to Durham, to the team that they played in the season opener way back in, was it October? Was it November? I guess it had to have been November, but it was very early November. They were the first game of the college basketball season, men or women. And it was out in Paris, France, remember? And Zach Smith actually went to Paris for us. That was fun for him.
My
Turned
goodness, the budget of the trip. How about that?
He went on his own dime. I'll just put that out there, and turned it into a little he and his wife vacation afterwards. So Baylor football had a bye week the next week, so that worked out well for him. But but yes, Baylor beat Duke in that season opener. Played really, really well. I mean, couldn't have started the season much better. Duke was ranked in the top 10 at the time. And then it sort of looked like, well, did Baylor expose Duke as not being, quite as good as that ranking? But Duke sort of turned it around and they got going. And so it'll be a much tougher environment for Baylor, I think, than it was in Paris, because now you're going to Cameron Indoor Stadium and, obviously, we know what that environment is like for men's basketball. I would think for an NCAA tournament women's game at home, it'll still be pretty rocking. So be a tough place to win. Shanae Agubake, the ESPN analyst, said this Baylor team can beat anyone. And that's high praise. They're going to have to play well, and they sort of go as Talia Scott goes. And so if she catches fire and, puts on a great march, we'll see. She may drag this team with her, but they need Talia Scott to be sort of the peak version of herself, I think.
They're in the Sacramento 2 region. So in your mind, you mentioned what they need to do. What will they do as you look into your crystal ball, as the late Dave Campbell would do?
No doubt. In fact, it was Dave Campbell's 101st birthday the other day. That would have been his 101st birthday. So that was that. I saw that Greg Tepper, who I think you have as one of your guests today, you can ask him about that. He tweeted about it. So, I think they probably, win their first game, lose to Duke. That's just my prediction. Can they beat Duke? Obviously, they've done it all once already. But of course, if they do beat Duke, then things get pretty enticing. And then we might have to talk to the bosses about the travel budget because I think, that would set up a Baylor LSU matchup in the Sweet 16. And I would tell my bosses, do we need a second writer there for that one? Because that is pretty delicious drama. Baylor and LSU, Mulkey going up against her old school. That's a script that writes itself. I think I can write that column in my sleep.
It would require it may require 2 or 3, if you need someone to carry your briefcase. I mean, because you're right, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
Glenn Moore and the Baylor softball team, Bryce, sets up. Man, that was it. Number one, it was a great trip. I mean, they beat Stetson. They take 2 out of 3 from a top 25 program. This club's playing well, and he got a milestone win. I mean, really just a terrific weekend for the softball program.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to UCF, winning 2 out of 3 there. The first game they won pretty comfortably. As you said, you get Glenn Moore a nice milestone win along the way, number 1,100. That's a big round number there. I mean, think about Scott Drew just won his 500th game. That's more than double. Obviously, they play a lot of games in softball and baseball, but nevertheless, it's still very impressive. Glenn Moore is the winningest Baylor coach in any sport. So that's to his credit, because it's not like it's just because they've played a lot of games. It's because they play a lot of games and they win a lot of games. And I think, what this Baylor team is showing is that they're resilient. Because they've taken their lumps here and there, but they've hung in there and they've kind of persevered, and I think they're figuring out what they do well and leaning into that. Obviously, a big test this week as you get former Big 12 rival and an in-state power. the Texas Longhorns. So that'll be fun. You get kind of a split like they used to do in baseball, Tommy. I mean, those split site series
Love
where,
those.
yeah, those were so fun. You
Yep.
know, you would do them with the Aggies, you do them with the Longhorns. Did we even do some with TCU? Maybe.
On the baseball side, it was just Texas A&M and Texas. It was those
Okay.
three that would just, they would do a 2 and a 1, and then a 1 and a 2, and to your point, everybody got to see both teams in the ballpark. Some just one game, but the others would too. So yeah, I love that. I thought that was, and I think Texas and Texas A&M did too. I think everybody really appreciated how that worked out and how it formatted out.
Yeah, it should be fun. And I'm actually planning on covering the Saturday game here at Getterman. Zach will be in Durham, North Carolina, as we mentioned. So I'll pick up that beat for him. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Glenn Moore's team.
Baseball got off to a great start on Friday in the 3-game set with the defending conference champion Mountaineers of West Virginia. But Saturday and Sunday was just for lack of a better word, it was disappointing.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, obviously a tough opponent. You're talking about the defending Big 12 champs, ranked team. But, especially the way they started, you like to think, oh, man, we have a chance to get a series win here. And you lose Saturday, you lose Sunday. Neither of those games were terribly close, at least the final score. So, yeah, I think it's the great thing about baseball is they play a lot of games and you get a chance to sort of dust yourself off and get right back on the horse. And let's face it, they have another ranked team tonight, kind of an unusual setup with a Big 12 team coming to Waco, but it's not a conference game. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, K-State, I think, was rolling through Texas and maybe a spring break trip there. And so, pick up another game before they get back to the Sunflower State. But yeah, should be good. I think K-State's ranked 24th in one of those, baseball rankings. There's a million polls in baseball. So
yeah, they're 15-5. I mean, and coming off that series win over Houston. So they're playing well. And I mean, wow. I mean, what was it? 20 runs on Friday night, 16 runs, something like that on Saturday before they gave up about 15 or 16 on Sunday. So I look forward to Pete Hughes' team coming in here.
Yeah. I mean, and absolutely. He's got those guys playing well. I think the league is better when like Kansas and K-State are playing, well, and you have sort of a deeper league. Because there's been seasons where that hasn't been the case. So, and clearly Baylor is playing well. I mean, so obviously the series lost to West Virginia notwithstanding, but, this team, when you look at Baylor's like sort of strength of schedule this year it's really strong, has some good wins under its belt. And I just think that's going to pay off in the long run. I mean, obviously you want to start stacking some Big 12 wins together, but you're only one series into this thing. So, don't panic.
Yeah. And then they're on the road this weekend taking on an Oklahoma State Cowboy team that dropped all 3 at Central Florida. Bryce, final thought for you, the World Baseball Championships tonight. It's the U.S. and Venezuela. What are your thoughts on just the event itself, the World Baseball Classic and the championships and what's come about over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, I caught a little of y'all's conversation before I came on with you and Lark, and I would say this. I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, first of all, I have not watched any of it, and that's not because I'm not interested or anything like that, but you guys know I'm a big basketball fan, and this is basketball time. We're in March. I mean, this is how I spend my time, and the basketball games really matter right now. But whether you're talking about NBA, whether you're talking about March Madness, all of it. So I am here for the basketball. And so last night, if there were, WBC games last night, which I'm sure there were, I was watching the Rockets and the Lakers and screaming at the TV. But so that's a whole nother story. But I do think, the event has gained popularity and like become something that, for a while there, it was kind of like, okay, what is this thing? And now I think it's sort of found its footing. And, so I've just followed it from like reading stories about it and stuff. I saw a clip the other day where Jose Altuve was in the stands watching, Venezuela play. Some of those major leaguers, aren't in the event because, like, I know in several of the Astros cases, they didn't get like the insurance that they needed to play in the event. There's all these red hoops or, red flags they have to sort of work through. But yeah, I and tonight is what, the final, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So you get U.S. versus Venezuela. If I can find where it is on the tube, I'll probably flip over there a little bit. The nice thing nowadays is you can.
This is on the mothership. It's on Fox tonight, I think.
Okay, there you go. That's good. The nice thing nowadays is you can get, you can split your screen on the television, so you can watch more than one thing at one time.
There you go. Hey, Bryce, what do you got? What's going on with the paper? What do you got? What people need to look for? What's on the website? Kind of get us up to speed.
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, we'll have tons of Baylor women's basketball. I think Zach has a story coming on Dariana Littlepage Buggs. He's got a story coming on Sawyer Robertson as spring football gets going, here very soon. We got Pro Day coming up Sunday. Just a couple other quick things I'll mention is the high school soccer playoffs start this week. So we'll have coverage of high school soccer playoffs. That'll be fun. And then the other thing, as you guys know, the Texas Sports Hall of Fame banquet is coming up in April. Mm-hmm. And we always do a series of, feature stories on all those inductees. I'll have one on the late, great Steve McMichael later this week. So he's among the class. Mongo, as they called him. He was, great at University of Texas. He was certainly great for the Chicago Bears, that 85 team. Everybody remembers them. And so, all of that is coming and more.
Brycey, as always, it is a pleasure. We thank you for your time, my friend.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
See you later. Bryce Cherry, the Waco Tribune-Herald. Good stuff. A lot of good stuff there. Hey, we're brought to you in part by Waco Body Mend Company, where you can take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. They're in the downtown corridor, right off of Mary Street here in downtown Waco. Check them out, and you can visit them at wacobodymend.com. We'll take a break, come back with more of the program in just a moment.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
All right, welcome back to the program, Tuesday edition, and we are joined now by Greg Tepper from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm in the throes of putting together a 400-page magazine. So if there are bags under my eyes already, they're only going to get worse over the next 8 weeks.
So let's start right there. Just gathering the information. That is how big a challenge, because I think all the coaches now know exactly how important it is, but is it still kind of difficult to gather that info?
All right. Well, all right. Let's just get the whole story. So to pull back the curtain, to tell people how we get the information from the high school side is that we ask every coach in the state to fill out a questionnaire. And that gives us a lot of the nitty gritty information. How many starters do you have coming back on offense? How many lettermen did you lose? Give me your best players, stuff like that. We like to follow up with coaches, but that gives us a lot of the basic information for every team. And now there are 1,500 of them. And so we got to track them down. Now, as you mentioned, coaches love this brand. Coaches love Dave Campbell's. And so a lot of them just do it like, yeah, of course, like no problem. Or they'll get an assistant to do it and stuff. But I would say about 70 to 75% of these coaches will get it in, no problem. I might have to ask twice, but they'll get it in. Another 15% of them need some nudging, need a little bit of encouragement, need maybe a couple of reminders. And then there are 10% who, we're going to be asking, and coach, please, can I text you? Can I call you? Please just give us some information and stuff. Again, that's 10%. 90% of coaches we're going to get that information from, and they're happy. They're happy to do it. There are some where there's a little bit of pulling teeth, but that's part of the job. And certainly I understand it. These guys are busy. These guys are busy. These guys have a ton going on. And one of the things that I always, if you ever want to have a good joke with a high school coach, just say the phrase "other duties as assigned," which is in every coaching contract in Texas high school football or Texas high school athletics, of saying like, yeah, you're the football coach, but also we can ask you to drive the bus, we can ask you to mop the floors and stuff like that. So they're busy. I'm respectful of that. But a lot of these guys, they'll get the information in because they know that it's going to reflect well on their program.
Yeah, they're the administrator on duty at the soccer game. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah, I've said this before. One of the things, one of the reasons, if you ask me why Texas high school football is special, like compared to Virginia high school football or what have you, yes, there's great talent, but I would say that the talent especially is different in the coaching ranks. And I think the depth of talent in Texas high school football, people want to come be Texas high school football coaches. And also the fact that these guys, like X's and O's and calling plays on a Friday night is 1% of their job, 2% of their job. And so I understand that they're busy, and we're grateful that they will give us the time of day.
I just saw on the website bracketology. We're doing a bracket.
Well, we do like to, listen, it's the dregs of the offseason. We do want to talk a little bit about Texas high, about college basketball a little bit. We're trying to expand on our social platforms into other sports as well. And so, certainly we want to talk a little bit about that, but that is not, don't, my bracket is not filled out. Even though my Missouri Tigers are in the tournament and do get to play in St. Louis on Friday night, which, let me tell you something, that is going to be a rowdy crowd that has had an entire day in St. Louis to enjoy the the local beverages, maybe of the Anheuser-Busch variety. And so I don't know. So don't expect any sort of expertise from a college basketball perspective, but want to make sure we're keeping in touch with all the goings on in the sports world.
I got you. So you're saying they'll have their game face on?
They will have their game face on. My brother-in-law will be one of them.
There's an article on the website about Pete Fredenburg, and just a phenomenal piece. First of all, well done. And it talks about the coaching tree, Greg. But I want you to talk a little bit about the program itself when it comes to Pete Fredenburg. 24 years of putting that thing together, and this is a guy that's done a lot of things. LSU, La Tech, Baylor. He's been to DC at those places, and then he goes. And they didn't own a chin strap when he got there. And look at the program that he built.
I think there is an argument to be made that Pete Fredenburg is the most underappreciated coach in Texas college football history. I mean, what he has done at Mary Hardin Baylor, you mentioned it, building a program from nothing and making them a contender, a national contender every single year is astonishing. And it's so hard to do that. But he found a way to make it happen there at a football program nobody had ever heard of. And then suddenly they're winning national championships. And then furthermore, you mentioned it, the legacy that he leaves behind, yes, is obviously the crew and it's obviously the program that he built, but it is also the branches of what is one of the most remarkable coaching trees in Texas high school football. Tony Salazar is a guy who was a part of that tree. He's the head coach at Austin Westlake, took over for Todd Dodge. He's considered, in my mind, at least one of the brightest defensive minds in Texas high school football. Hard stop. And then you add in a guy that they just got promoted to South Lake Carroll in Lee Munn. Lee Munn was a longtime defensive coordinator under Todd Dodge, and then there at South Lake Carroll under Riley Dodge. A guy who knows his way around there. So think about that. Just those guys would make for a remarkable coaching tree. But then you add in, guys like Paul Kirby at Nixon Smiley. There's Lovejoy defensive coordinator David Branscombe. The new defensive coordinator at South Lake Carroll Sides. The Grapevine offensive coordinator Derek Sides. It goes on and on and on and on. And I really can't stress enough that you are, as far as legacies are concerned. Yes, of course, there's the national championship, and there's building the crew into a consistent perennial title contender. But also it is the guys who he helped to shape into some of the very brightest minds in Texas high school football. And that is a legacy that is going to continue. And why I think, look, we can talk all we want about all the great college football coaches in Texas, but when you do, you need to mention Pete Fredenburg.
I couldn't agree with you more. And you just mentioned these guys, and these are, Greg, these are elite programs that they're going to. South Lake Carroll, Austin Westlake, Lovejoy. These are programs that people would love to be a part of, and these guys are getting those jobs.
These are brand name programs. And I'll just give you an example with Carroll. So South Lake Carroll came open this offseason because Riley Dodge, the head coach there, and of course an alum and the son of Todd Dodge, took a job on the staff at SMU. Okay, hey, good for him. He's moving on up in the world. Great. Nobody begrudges him that. That was I can tell you with certainty, there were national candidates who were in on this job from across the nation. There were coaches on FBS Power 4 college football staffs that were asking about this job, that were applying for this job at South Lake Carroll. I mean, these are big time programs. And so I think it's important for us to kind of take a step back sometime. We can kind of get in our own bubble about Texas high school football. When you have a program like South Lake Carroll that comes open, everyone in the country starts paying attention to it, and everyone wants that job. And so, yeah, for Lee Munn to get that job, a Pete Fredenburg guy, I think speaks volumes to what he's done, because you're right, between that and Westlake and all of these outstanding programs, his tentacles the Pete Fredenberg kind of tree stretches out not just to a lot of different high school football teams across the state, but a lot of big time, high profile, nationally recognized high school football teams across the state.
But it does say a lot about Texas high school football, does it not? When you have coaches, all across the country seeking information and wanting to be a part of these programs in Texas high school football.
It happens more than you think, of like guys moving from college into the high school ranks. We think about it a lot with the other side, right? Riley Dodge, moving into the high school ranks, right? We've seen Joey McGuire is the perfect example of a guy who went from high school at Cedar Hill all the way up, and now is coaching the college football playoff this past year. But the opposite is also true. There are guys who've got plenty of experience on college staffs who are coming back to the high school ranks, and then just big time nationally known, big high school programs who want to know. There was a coach. Oh, I wish I could remember his name. But there was a coach who was the winningest coach. This is true. He was the winningest coach in Delaware high school football history. Mark Del Percio is his name. And he took the job, this is a few years ago, and I'm just dating myself now, at Orange Grove, which is just like some 4A program down kind of by the coast that almost nobody has heard of. And you talk to him, he's like, yeah, like I won in Delaware, but like, you got to come here and got to prove yourself up against the best, right? You had that. Another example, it was a relatively big job that came open, but Rockwall Heath. Rockwall Heath came open when Rodney Webb retired. They hired Casey Dick. Casey Dick is a name you may remember as, yes, he's from the DFW Metroplex. He's from Allen. He was a quarterback at Allen. But he went off and he was a star in the SEC at Arkansas. He was most recently I believe they won a state championship in Arkansas at Fayetteville High School. And if there's only 3 or 4 teams that you're going to know in Arkansas, Fayetteville High is one of them. But he left that job to come over and be like, yeah, I got to get back into Rockwall Heath. The other thing that's remarkable about him taking that job is that there are now 3 teammates from the 2004 Allen Eagles who are coaching in the same district. In North Forney, head coach Marcus Shavers, the aforementioned Casey Dick there at Rockwall Heath, and then just recently Robert Boone moved from Carrollton Newman Smith to go take over at Mesquite Horn. So you have 3 guys. We've got a great piece on TexasFootball.com about this. 3 guys who were teammates in the same class at Allen High School who are now going to be district foes, head coaches on their own team, coached by Joe Martin, who was now the executive director of the Texas High School Coaches Association. It's a small world, but I think that all roads lead back to Texas high school football, and that's a perfect example of that.
That's terrific. Hey, I want to get a final thought from you. I know there's some AD jobs that are still open. Where are we as far as filling our head coaching positions? Is there any elite jobs still available? And they're all elite. I understand.
Yeah.
But some of those 5A, 6A type jobs, is some of those jobs still available right now?
Yeah, there's a couple. The coaching carousel got off to a white hot start. I mean, a crazy start, which isn't necessarily surprising considering it's a realignment year, and there tends to be more turnover then. I will tell you that there's still a couple of big time jobs that I think are open. One of them is down in the Houston area, the Woodlands College Park. I think it's a great 6A job. Kyle Coates, the former defense coordinator at DeSoto, went to College Park, did a great job for a couple of years. He got the job at Atascocita. That's a job that I'm keeping an eye on moving forward. I think that when you take a look at the big one, and obviously it comes with a lot of caveats, but what's going on at Salina, they're looking for a new coach, and obviously stepping into a difficult situation there with Salina. I would actually say, kind of tied to Salina, Denison is open because Brent Whitson left to go be the new AD at Salina. But Denison is a really, really nice job. Fort Bend Marshall is open. Nacogdoches out east is open, which is a program. And then I would say if there's one program or 2 programs kind of down outside, down kind of southeast, if you will, Corpus Christi Miller, which is the legacy program in the Corpus Christi ISD. It's the oldest program. The Bucks are looking for a new head coach as Justin Evans came up to take up the job at Denton Braswell. And then one that's, I think, flying under the radar, but Needville, the Blue Jays are looking for a coach. I think this is a fabulous job. I think this is a growing area down there, kind of outside of Houston. A lot of growth, a lot of talent there. That's a job that I would expect if you were to take a look at the applicant list after the fact, you'd be like, oh, there's some big names there. And I will also just say that we're tracking a couple of other pretty high pro that may come open here in the next couple of weeks. So the carousel's still spinning. It's slowed a little bit, but I think we're, especially after spring break, we're going to have another couple turns of it.
Greg, as always, great stuff. Tell us what we can find. We talked about that Pete Fredenberg story. What else are some of the things that are available on the website and what's to come?
Yeah, look, there's a ton of stuff right now. It's big camp season for recruiting. So if you're into that and you want to know where the very best players in Texas high school football are going to be going, we've got you covered every step of the way there. Spring football starting to kick off across college football. We've got kind of the big storylines cutting into spring football. And then, look, we're talking football, on TexasFootball.com every day because every day is football season around here.
Great stuff. Greg, thanks as always. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
See you later. That's Greg Tepper from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. I mean, my goodness, this is just great information, and it's so fun to talk to Greg. It really is. Hey, we're brought to you in part by Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store. They're at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Shopping Center, right down the strip center from Jason's Deli. Hey, guys, if you need a gift and you are like me, totally confused every time you need to go buy a gift, whether it's a birthday or an anniversary or, Christmas, whatever the case may be, get out of jail free gift, one of those things. Look, the place to go is Morrison's Gifts. Sally will take great care of you. She'll ask you a couple of questions. She'll get you in. She'll get you out. You'll be proud of yourself. And you know what? Your significant other is going to be proud of you, too, because you're going to bring her a very nice gift and a very affordable gift as well. John Hart, Consuela, Jellycats, all kinds of stuff available at Morrison's Gifts, 4312 West Waco Drive. We'll take the break. We're coming right back with more in just a moment. Since 1996, Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 18th and Herring has been serving Waco's best burger. There's nothing better than a delicious burger cooked just the way you like it, with garden fresh toppings on a buttered bun. Add tots, fries, curly fries, or onion rings for a perfect meal. So what are you waiting on? How about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers today? Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. And don't forget to ask about Double R's catering. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. Family owned and operated, Jasper's Barbecue is serving up Texas-style barbecue meats and sandwiches and all the fixins. Enjoy mouth-watering brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and don't forget the potato salad and barbecue beans. Located in Waco on Elm Street, right off of I-35, open Tuesday through Saturday 10 until 2 or until the food runs out. Stop by today and enjoy the best barbecue around. Voted one of the best barbecue joints by Texas Monthly. That's Jasper's Barbecue in Waco. You won't leave hungry.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycats mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
All right, welcome back. We got it's 22 below zero or something like that. I mean, it's cold. It is, but it's supposed to start turning the corner and warming up a little bit. And this weekend may be a tremendous weekend to get out and play some golf. And the place to go is Lake Waco Golf Club. It's a semi-private facility. They've got great stuff going on out there. They got the golf course. They got the par 3. They've got the clubhouse. They've got the bar and grill. They've got the swimming pool. They got the practice facilities, all that stuff right there. If you want to check it out, you can go to lakewacogc.com. That's lakewacogc.com, or give them a call and get a tee time. And they'll be happy to take great care of you out of Lake Waco Golf Club, one of our fine sponsors here on the program. Tomorrow we'll talk with Jones Mitchell, and I think we're going to discuss putting, Lark. I think that's kind of the plan tomorrow as we welcome them back to the program on Thursdays.
Always frustrated me that one stroke that was only like 2 feet long
counts the same as 300 yards.
That 300-yard drive. You know?
It does. It absolutely does. So that's why it's so important. If you're going to score for guys like us, and I say guys like us, amateurs.
Yeah.
You got to be able to play the game from 125 yards in. And that's where it's all about.
Absolutely.
So that's where we're starting. We're going to start from the green and work our way out with
There
Jones.
you go.
So we'll do that. So that'll be on the program tomorrow. All right, let's get an update on what's going on sports-wise. We got a lot of college baseball and softball, high school baseball and softball, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we certainly do. Just some scores from yesterday in softball. Texas A&M had a sweep of LSU 7-2 and 3-2. And then spring training baseball yesterday, the Rangers beat the White Sox 3-2. The Rangers have the day off today.
Do you pay much attention to? I know you gathered the score, but do you pay much attention to grapefruit and
I wait till kind of basically the last week.
Once they kind of pared it down and kind of put their roster together, their final roster. I agree.
Yeah, Rangers have the day off today. Houston's playing Pittsburgh today. High school baseball tonight. We've got the Midway Panthers hosting Shoemaker. That's going to be fun. It was 35-0 last Friday over at Shoemaker.
Wow. So
we'll see how that ends up. The Midway girls softball team is at Killeen tonight. I'm talking.
Both of those games on midwaytv.com, which is we work with those folks quite extent. In fact, you're going to be doing the baseball broadcast, right?
I'll be doing the baseball broadcast. Okay. The NCAA basketball tournament, the play-in games start tonight. Texas, one of those play-in games.
Wow.
They're playing North Carolina State. Also tonight is the UMBC Howard play-in game.
Stop and think about that for just a second. Texas and NC State in a play-in game.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem
kosher.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you're like, hang on a second. Basketball, NC State, and they're in a play-in game?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And then the NIT tournament starts tonight with Oklahoma State taking on Davidson and Stephen F. Austin going up against Tulsa. And we failed to mention that Baylor has accepted a bid to the Crown tournament.
They play Minnesota, don't they?
They're going to play Minnesota in the first round. This doesn't start till April Fool's Day.
Right.
On April 1st, but also Oklahoma's part of that. West Virginia is part of that.
It's almost like a Big 12 invitational with West Virginia.
Kind of looks that way.
Yeah.
Sure this one wasn't something that Commissioner Yermark came up with, some of his marketing plan?
8 teams. There's 8 teams. They're all gonna go out to Vegas and hang out and play basketball.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where Baylor's basketball team is going to play next. And Tom, that's kind of what's going on locally in sports.
You mentioned, and of course, Baylor baseball will play tonight. They're going to be hosting Kansas State. We talked about that earlier.
Yep.
That's a 6:30 first pitch. If you're looking for something fun to do, get out to Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark. I'll be on the radio call of that one. I just started looking around. The quality baseball teams we have, Lark, in the state of Texas, just college baseball teams. I mean,
TCU, A&M, Texas, Baylor.
Look, okay, Texas is 18-1, number 2 in the country. And I'm telling you right now, I've seen Texas. This is a team, quite frankly, I think it might. This may be not fair to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think this is a team that could get to Omaha.
Yeah.
I think they're built to get to Omaha.
Absolutely.
They're 18-1. They took 2 out of 3 over the weekend from Ole Miss, which is a fantastic team, I might add. Texas A&M, they're struggling. They're 16-3.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. And tonight, Texas has got Tarleton. Tarleton's got a terrific program.
They do.
A&M is playing Texas State. They're 7-6. UTSA is 15-5, ranked in the top 25 in the country. We've got some programs. And then, there's Dallas Baptist, which is a perennial playoff team. There's Abilene Christian. There's UTEP. We got UTRGV down in the valley. I mean, Abilene Christian. Right now, I don't know about the Baylor program. They're 11-8. They're talented, but they're young.
Absolutely.
And, you got, 13 freshmen, 9 of them true freshmen on the team. And It's when you're playing 4 games a week every week, it's different. It's different than a couple of games a week in high school baseball. And let's be honest, you know this. In high school, these guys that are playing right now, they were probably the best player on their team.
Oh, yeah.
And there was probably 1 or 2 guys on the other team. But it's not that way at this level. Everybody can play this game.
Right.
Or you wouldn't be at this level.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of the learning process. And, you watch this team play Ole Miss and you're like, wow, this is really, really good. And then you have, and then they defeated West Virginia, which is a terrific program, by the way. I mean, defending conference champion, Big 12 champion, West Virginia. And then Saturday and Sunday, they didn't play very well.
Yeah, well,
and that's, I think a lot of it you can attribute to the youth. But if you're going to do what you want to do, and they want to be an NCAA team this year, make no mistake about it, they're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, Steve Smith told us a long time ago, baseball is a series sport. You can't just play one game and be done because of the different pitchers, different way that you approach who's your starting pitcher and all that. It is a series sport. So you're out to win series, not just one game.
Yeah, I agree. And you got Oklahoma State coming up this weekend. And they're 0-3 after going on the road and losing to UCF. All right, we got to get out of here, don't we?
That'd be probably a good thing to do.
We're running a little over, but we're having fun, so we can. It's our show. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do this again at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can watch it live on Facebook or on YouTube, or go catch it afterwards wherever you get your podcast, audio or video. You can do that. So many thanks to everyone who's been a part of this one. Bryce Cherry from the Waco Trib, Greg Tepper from Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Way over there is Lark. Say hi, Lark, or bye, Lark.
Bye, Lark.
All right, I'm Tom. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycat mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.